Hello and welcome to Professor Pincushion. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this sweet and simple tassel necklace. It's a unique project that you can totally make yourself. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go over some of the supplies we're going to need for this project. Now, of course, when you pick up your supplies from a jewelry supply store or craft store, wherever you get it, you have lots of different options, and of course you can use whatever you want. These are just the things that I use for my particular project. So I have a package here of the twist cable chain, and this comes in a package that includes 6 feet of chain. Out of that, I can usually get about 2 necklaces. It really depends on how long you want to make your necklace. The size of this is 1.83 millimeter. Then I have some jump rings. This is 4 millimeter. And I have a lobster clasp, and this is 12 millimeter. Out of these jump rings, you need about 4 of them. So if you get a package, it should be more than enough. I'm going to pick up some embroidery floss. This you can get at your local craft or fabric store. So I have one of each color that I want to make the tassel out of. I have some scissors here to cut my floss. This is a little piece of cardstock. You want it to be a little bit longer than the length of your finished tassel, because this is what we're going to be using to help make our tassel. A ruler, I have needle nose pliers, and then some wire cutters. All right, so let's create some tassels. Now I'm going to show you with one example, but of course you do the same thing with our other tassel. And even if you're doing a different project and you just want to learn how to create a tassel, you can use the same method. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a piece off of my embroidery floss, which is about 12 inches in length. We're just going to put this aside for later. I have this cardstock. This is going to help us create the tassel, and it's a little bit longer than what I want my finished tassel length to be, which is 1¼ inches. You can obviously make them longer if you want to make them longer. So I'm going to take my embroidery floss. Out of one skein, you can get about 3 or 4 tassels, depending on how long you make them. So since mine are small, I could probably get about 4 of them. And I'm just going to start wrapping them around my cardstock. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You can see this thread is hanging here, so I'm just going to hold it until I'm ready to cut. And obviously, the more time you wrap it around the cardstock, the fuller your tassel is going to be. Now, since I'm coming to the end of my floss here, I'm just going to put the whole thing around. But it's really up to you on how full you want to make it. All right, so that's what it looks like at this point. Just trim this little extra part off. Now on one side of my cardstock, I'm just going to trim my floss. So you can see I'm putting my scissors right down in the middle there, and I'm cutting it. And I'll show you what I end up with. Okay, so now I can get rid of my cardstock, and very carefully just going to lie your threads like that. We're going to take our extra piece that we cut off. You're going to slip it underneath your bundle of floss threads here. And you can see I'm not doing it in the middle of my extra thread here. I'm kind of doing it on the end. And then you're just going to tie a knot so we get a knot right in the middle of this thread bundle. So I did one knot, and then I'm just going to do one more little knot because I want to make sure that it's not going to come apart. And then you can go ahead and trim the threads, meaning this thread here. So let me just get this through, and then I'll show you what I mean. All right, so there's another knot, and then go ahead and trim this off. Next, we're going to take this bundle and we're going to fold it in half. So this part that we tied around the middle is going to be right in the middle of that. And then we're going to tie another piece of string around this whole thing. To help me with that, just to make it a little bit easier, you're going to take your extra piece of floss here. I'm going to put it in one hand. So you see I have the folded edge down here on the end. I'm going to twist it, put your thumb and first finger in here, and then grab this thread that is on the left side or the top side, and you're going to pull it through your loop, and you're creating a slip knot. So you can see this little knot here. So now I can just lay this down, fold this in half like I said earlier, slip it right in that loop, and then I could just pull these two ends. So it just makes it a little bit easier since we only have two hands. Okay, and usually I have it about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch from the top of the tassel to where I put my second string here. And after I tighten it, I'm just going to do another knot. So loop, then through the loop, double knot. All right, so we're almost done with this part. Then you could take one end, wrap it around a couple of times, maybe about 3 times. And then you're going to tie another set of double knots. So just loop them, put one strand through the loop, pull it, and then do it again. So we're going to make sure the knot is definitely not going to get out. Through the loop, pull it tight. It's easier if it's not wiggling around everywhere. And then I'm just going to trim as close as I can. You don't want to leave long strands after you tie your knot because then it won't look as neat. And then if I was just to flip this over, you see it looks like a tassel. It's just a little jagged here on the end. So just to make it look a little bit more even, take my scissors and just trim some of this part off so it's a little bit more even and looks more uniform. So that's essentially how you create your tassel. Using your wire cutter, go ahead and cut your chain, same chain that you're using for the main necklace. I'm going to cut one about 3 inches, there's one, and then one that's about 1.5 inches in length. That's so when you create your necklace and you have your tassels dangling, they're more tiered instead of the same length. Next, you're going to take a jump ring. So you need 1 jump ring for each tassel. And you can see I'm using my needle nose pliers, and it's easier if you have another set of pliers just to hold it, or you can use your wire cutters to hold it as well. And I'm going to twist them away from each other to open up the jump ring. So you can see that's open now. Grab your tassel, and you can see where we have the little threads that go across the middle. That's the part that's going to slip on the jump ring, like that. Now, if you're using their tassel for another project and you don't want the jump ring, but you want more of the floss, you just use extra embroidery floss. You could thread it through it and create your own thread loop. All right, then I'm going to grab the chain that I had previously cut. So this is the 3-inch chain. I'm also going to put it on the jump ring there. Then go ahead and close the jump ring back up. Cut another piece of chain for however long you want your finished necklace length to be. So mine is 24 inches, and I'm going to fold it in half to find the center point. Now we're going to get a little bit closer to this point here to show you how to finish putting on the tassels. Grab another jump ring, open it up. You can see I've already done that. Now the center part of the necklace on this chain here, I'm going to slip on the jump ring. Like that. Then I'm going to grab my 2 tassels. So on the chain side, the end, not where the tassel is, but the end here, I'm going to slip each one onto the jump ring. So there's one, grab the other one, and then once all 3 of these elements are on, so the necklace part is on the jump ring and then the 2 tassel chains are on there, go ahead and close up the jump ring. To finish off our necklace, we just need to add the clasps at the end. So you can see at the end here, I added a jump ring. This just makes it easier for this to hook onto. On this side, I added another jump ring and then made sure I added the lobster clasp on top of that as well. And then that's it, and your necklace is complete. Here's a view on what the tassel part of the necklace looks like. If you use a larger jump ring, you can definitely add more tassels if you wish. New tutorials are released weekly, so please subscribe to be notified of the next release. Make sure to check out our other videos and visit ProfessorPincushion.com to view our complete library with well over 200 sewing video tutorials, including our exclusive premium content. Our premium membership is only $5 a month for unlimited access and only available at ProfessorPincushion.com. Also, don't forget to download our mobile app for videos on the go. Thanks for watching.